Welcome to humanitywins.net. Please read the important disclaimer on your screen. All of the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be taken as medical or legal advice. Please contact your doctor or lawyer if you require such advice. Thank you. The show starts right now. Hello, welcome to this episode of humanitywins.net. As you can see, we have a guest today. We're very honored to have Joel from Waking the Future. Hello, Joel. You want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, Alex. Thank you for having me on to Humanity Wins. It's always an honor to have somebody that wants to have my input and have me come on to their show. And for anybody who doesn't know, I am Joel. I do co-host Waking the Future. We're available over on Odyssey, BitChute, Rumble, RoxyTube, all the everything except for YouTube, I guess you'd say. And we've been recording for coming up on 3 years now. It's amazing, actually. It's going to be 3 years in May. It'll be 3 years. So just about 2.5 years, and it's been it's been a journey, and yeah.
Well, yes, I was telling you yesterday that we spoke that I found you guys were into 6-8 months of recording. That's when you used to do 2 episodes per day. I remember you used to call it these Tuesdays, morning episode, evening episode, something like that, afternoon episode. And I remember the thing I always like about you guys, even whatever the subject was, is like many people have said to you, is you guys are real, okay? So it's 2 people, 2 friends actually, because you and Pat have been friends for a long time. 2 friends just talking in a very organic way, no preparations at all, because the same as you guys, I also run the show on a shoestring budget. I basically run it on a 0 budget, but it's something that is people are getting, or the real us, okay? It's nothing prepared. We have no agenda, even if some people might think whatever they want, that we are shields or whatever. It's their opinion. They certainly can have it, but it's something I always like about you guys. And I wanted to tell you, Joel, if you want, we can start with this subject. You have mentioned many times about how meditation is something something you suggest very much. You do it, in my opinion. I honestly don't know anyone that does it as much as you do on the regular. What I do is, right now I'm doing 5 to 10 minutes a day. I do 5 minutes a day, 2 times a day. But I would like to hear your experiences when you do it. I've heard 40 minutes, is that right? Something like that. And if you have any techniques you want to share with whoever is listening.
So meditation, it's funny. It's meditation is really just it's a tough word to explain. What you do is when we say meditation and we think about it, all meditation really means is staying in the moment. There's another word the Buddhists use, I believe, and it's not coming to me right now. But I do a minimum of 1 minute per hour in the day. So I do a minimum of 24 minutes of meditation in the morning. I like to go upwards of 40 minutes if I can, and I do all forms of meditation. There's many different ways to meditate, and like I said, it's all staying in the moment. Most of my meditations in the morning are a sitting meditation in a comfortable position with my eyes closed, and usually as I've done it longer and longer, it's in complete silence, and I'm just focusing on my breath. I'm focusing on my senses. I'm just staying in the present moment. Sometimes, it can be any variety of things. There's also one of my walking meditation is one of my favorite meditations to do, especially now where I live in New England, in Massachusetts, in the States. A walking meditation and staying present and walking the same path every day for a period of days, especially during the seasons, you get to see how amazing it is. We got our leaves, they change color, different animals are getting ready for the winter, and you notice things that if you weren't staying in the present moment, that you wouldn't notice on a regular basis, because we're or at least for me, I'll speak for myself, in the past, I was always in tomorrow or yesterday. I was always worried about this, and I was always worried about that, it meditation brought me back to right now, brought me back to reality, brought me back to what is, right? And it's like I said, and many people I know do many different kinds of meditation. I've also been in what they call floating, which is a deprivation tank. It's about, I forget, it's a ton of Epsom salt and some warm water, and it's in a deprivation tank where there's no light and no sound. And I've had and you just lay in there and you're floating on top of the water and you meditate that way. So it's meditation can take on so many different forms, and the benefits that I have seen. Okay, and I've been regularly meditating every day for just about 6 years now, and I can't. The reason I talk about it so much is because it's been so beneficial in my life and in so many different areas of my life. I mean, I'm able to, as much as possible, bring it back to the present moment all throughout the day. That's what my sitting for 20 minutes has brought into my daily work. Is staying in the actual moment, being present right now. And I'm a lot less tired because my brain's not all over the place. It's just the benefits are amazing.
Great. It's thank you for explanation. It's very complete. Something resonated with me a few seconds ago when you mentioned it, because a lot of people, yes, when we use the brain, when we are also exciting the brain with everything that is going on, as you say, in the past, thinking about things we have done, we haven't forgiven ourselves. People that are always going to the past, to I should have done things different than that. Just forget about it. Okay, just put it in the past. And the future is the future, so it's always an opportunity. But the system wants us to be eternally concerned about the future. Okay, that's why there is all these things about that you must have a retirement plan and stuff like that, and people working on all day or whatever. So it's a retirement. I saw that in Italy with my family. They're always talking about la pensione. La pensione is the retirement in Italy, but obsessively talking about it, and they change the age. It's from 68 to 65 to 68. So the system wants us to be in the future, so you're not in the present, as you say. And yes, I agree with you completely. When we continuously work our brain, especially in the past, in the future, and concerned about all this excitement, all these distractions, then you get physically tired. Some people don't understand. I mean, I've been doing more mental than physical work for a long time now, because I'm in IT and it's about programming, and it's like writing a book. It thinks that takes a lot from your mind. It's a lot of rationalization going on. But you get physically tired, okay? I understand when you do physical work, you also get physically tired, but also the brain will take a lot of you. So these techniques you're sharing, I mean, to everyone hearing, I kind of explain it more elementary than what you're saying. I basically say, close your eyes, go into a place that there is little to no noise, that is dark, very important. So there's no excitement for the eyes, even if they're closed, that the eyes don't see there's light there. And just try to slow things down, okay? And I think it will come to you. Of course, if you want to do, everyone hearing, if you want to do techniques, do it. Buy a book, or see something, or who knows, maybe then you can do some tutorials, Joel. But there are a lot of information and for free on the internet about techniques for meditation, but it's very, very important. Now, I want to kind of take that subject and make you a question that I've seen on several places in comments and that when there's a video meditation, that why would you think, if it's such good thing to us, and I think I know the answer, right? This is like a trick question. Why will the system, or why is generally referred, if you ask a priest or someone like that, to the occult, to things that are like into the dark, that, if you believe in God, then you should meditate because there are difficult things there. I also heard similar things about yoga, that be careful when you're doing yoga. Again, this is a mainstream explanation. I don't agree that when you're doing yoga, you can open portals to demons and stuff like that. So I just wanted, I know you don't believe in any of that stuff, but I want to share, why would you think that the system is very adamant of discouraging this type of activity, which is very good for us?
Well, thank you. It's a very good question. It's a lot of people in our community, we'll call it. They refer to it, and they do. They put it in the same category as this new age occult type thing, and it's just not true. Meditation, Buddhism, Taoists are actually older than the Bible. Right? These practices are older than the Bible. The the most important reference in the Bible, be still and know that I am God. What do we think that they're referring to there? Well, anybody can take 1,000 stabs at the translation and try to decipher what they're trying to say there. But I think it's sitting quiet and getting to know God. And if you study, Thich Nhat Hanh, who recently passed away, he was a Vietnamese Buddhist monk. He was nominated. He did a lot of work with Dr. Martin Luther King over here in the States, and he was exiled from Vietnam, and he had a plum village in France. And at any given time, there was a number of ministers and priests there. Why do they, right, quote unquote, why do they not want us? Because they don't. And I say this on the show too. I think I said it yesterday. They can't have anybody with an imagination. They can't have people that are able to think for themselves, critical thinkers, and be able to come up with their own ideas. And that's why they did what they did with the school system. That's why they start us off so young, is to worry about these things. And it's like, if you ask the mainstream person out there, what is life all about? And they're going to give you, depending on the stages of their life, okay, if they're anywhere from the ages of 10 to say 18, they're going to tell you how important it is to finish school and get good SAT scores so that they can go to college, and then they can get a good job so that then they're going to get married. They forget about the fact that 75% of them get divorced. But because you're going to have the 2.2 kids, and then you're going to work, and you're going to buy a house, and then you're going to work until you're 68. And then on the downhill of our physical life, we're going to retire. And that's life. That's a successful life to people. And for somebody like you and for somebody like myself, that is so preposterous. That doesn't resonate a life to me that is anything. And if they can't keep people in line with that script, however they do it, right? We know the many angles they'll take for them to use it. Then they're in trouble, and that's why the indoctrination starts so young in the school. And I've been doing a lot of studying on this recently on the indoctrination of our children, and this is where the whole problem starts. And it all happened back in the 1850s and the 1900s when they were having problems. This is when they were having problems with workers at work, starting to get together and gather together and be like, hey, these working conditions aren't that good. These people at the top are making all this money, and we're getting peanuts. So they knew that they had to come up with a way to control the people. And we can go into any, and obviously it started with newspapers and radios. They started and heavy, and then of course television was the big one. Television was the big weapon against us, and it stole all of our individuality as a person. Look at school, Alex. I mean, you go to school, and the first thing, it's get in line. Don't speak unless your hand is raised. Okay, right when you get to school, stand up, put your hand on the heart, and point at the flag. Right? Some people want to tell me that like I'm new age or all this other nonsense, and no, it's just not true. The reality is the state is God in these people's eyes. That's God. That's why you get up. That's why you put your hand. It's all it is to produce an obedient society, and people that don't use their brains, people that just memorize stuff. It's an important dive to look into. And the guy that I've been reading is John Gatto. Great book. She does a great 5-hour history lesson. You can find it right on YouTube, and all the references into that. It brings you down to Anthony Sutton and just the takeover really of our education system, our medical system, and our psychology, right? And there you go. It's right there in black and white how they obtain the control that they have.
Yes, and I agree with you that the whole system, of course, it's not going to leave something to chance, and of course the schools on every country, because some people think this is related to some countries. No, they don't leave anything to chance. This is in all countries. You see, the system is very similar. with elementary school, junior high school, university, master school, whatever, doctorate. So I think if you're lucky, sometimes you get good teachers, okay, that see outside the box. You're lucky. And kind of tell you, things are not what they appear. This is kind of what you can get as far as an education, because also education is at home, okay? And you have shared many times that you have a father that he was like very similar to you, very open. He understood the system, okay? Which it was not my case. My father is a great man, great father. He's just a system person, okay? He believes what he sees in TV, okay? So he believes the system is not evil. He believes the world is great except for inflation. He's that type of person right now. But that doesn't make him an evil man or a bad man or a bad father. But in your case, you had the plus, let's say, of having a father that understood the system, so having like a teacher at home. In my case, most things came like I don't want to call it intuition, but I did have a very good teacher in university from Spain. He was very old, that he taught technical subjects such as thermodynamics, but he also, on 9th semester, there's a course called ethics that he asked to teach it, and he said, guys, it was my last semester, 9th semester, he knew some of the class, because he had taught us thermodynamics and other classes, fluid mechanics and stuff like that. And he said, remember the equations and all that, differential equations. Yeah, it's good, but you don't know anything, okay? At the most, we have taught you to think a little bit, to make you critical thinkers, to use your brains. So don't go out on your first job and think you're going to fix things and you know better and you don't know anything. You have just scraped the surface, okay? So always think and always be humble that really you don't know anything. And I think there's a philosophical say that the only thing I know is I don't know anything, okay? It's the only thing I'm sure of, that I don't know anything. So that's why when you let go, Joe, when you let go of this pressure of the truth, of this pressure of wanting to know, oh, this is it, this is reality. No, we don't really know, okay? What you can do is suggest, what you can do is kind of say, this is what I think. So that's why I was talking yesterday about the summation of truths, okay? So you hear an opinion in there, a feeling there, so maybe you're getting a better perspective, but at the end, let go of this obsession by the system, by the way, that you must know things, okay? Because then you're gonna search for a fountain of truth, and who's the fountain of truth is provided by the system, okay? Religions, university, the system of elementary school, junior high, all that, that's the education system. If you are into something health problems, then there's the medical system or the pharma industry. If you are into philosophical issues, then again, there's the government or whatever. So they always provide a solution, but they want to tell you, we have the information, we have the truth, not these crazy guys on the internet, okay? That's what happened a couple of years ago, saying, oh, because you watched a 30-second disinformation video on Facebook or whatever. No, because I'm using my critical thinking to know something is wrong, So...
Well, yeah,
yes, go ahead.
And that's very important. That's like something like okay, find your own truth. Take information. Take in all the information, right? And one of my favorite sayings is, the more I learn, the less I know, right? Mm-hmm. The more I learn, the more I realize it's actually the less I know. And the one thing that I absolutely know is that I don't have anywhere near all of the answers. All I can speak on is my experience. Okay, truth. What is truth right now? The only truth right now is that I'm sitting in front of a computer screen doing a video with my friend Alex down in Mexico. I know that to be truth. And anything outside of that, I need evidence of. I need concrete personal evidence. Like when I read history books, a lot of the time, I'm like, yeah, does this really make any sense? Because I'm not really seeing the effects of what they're saying there. And then, doesn't mean it's not true. It just means that that's not the experience I'm having with it. And I think our biggest problem right now with truth is that it's the blame game, right? It's so easy to blame. It's so easy to look into the past and look at the atrocities they have done, right? But what does that accomplish? Well, it accomplishes two things, okay? It accomplishes the divide, okay, that they need, and it prevents us from any true insight of ourselves and how we could improve and how we could make this world a better place. It's much easier for me to look at Alex and point out his flaws than to search deep within at my own flaws. And that's also that selfish. That's the selfish New Age society, the Dave train. It's all about me. It's all about my gains. It's all about my stuff. I need more stuff, and it's all And it's just once you see it, man, you just can't unsee it.
Yes. I wanted to say something about that, Joel, that I do believe also the New Age, whatever, has been tainted. Of course, the system was not going to have it. I think there are some good things there, personally, for me, especially the stuff about energies, vibration levels, all that. I cannot buy into those stuff. But I totally agree. It's not about, me, ego. It's not about my problems, really. It's about all the contrary, being strong so you can participate in solving the problem, okay? So it's not about your own fears, your own, what I want to know because, me. It's about discovering a little bit, again, this is very personal stuff, mine, because I elected to do it. I let myself go. And in a way, it's like going on a ship and you go from point A to point B and you have all the information at hand. So we're 200 miles from point B and this is in this direction, southeast or whatever. And the difference of letting go, I just find that just let it go. Just live this second. It doesn't matter where you're going. It doesn't matter when you're going to arrive. It doesn't matter anything. Just leave, okay? Just leave. LIVE, just leave. Just enjoy your life, okay? Just don't be so concerned, it's the war going to end next year, 2025, 2030, it's a meteor coming, all this stuff, because right now there's so many theories going around. They had a theory going around today, September 25th, we're recording on a Sunday, and they had these theories going around about September 23rd, 24th, which, by the way, I've heard for like 10 years now. They keep mentioning that day, recycling that day. So just let go. Just let go and enjoy your life, and don't be so concerned. If you let go, it's not like going into a vacuum that you're gonna. No, just let go, and you're gonna be so free inside. You're gonna really enjoy it. You're gonna start discovering things about yourself. So in that case, the New Age movement, in those kind of things, of just being free inside, and that I subscribe. The thing about self-love, it's all about me. All the world can go to hell, but as long as I'm fine, no, I totally disagree, and I think that's the main problem with the world, being so ego-centered, being so self-centered, and countries being like that. Countries saying, as long as we're fine, I don't care if my country, my neighbor is not. No, we're all in this together. It's like we're in a boat, okay, 7.5 billion, plus the species, plus Mother Earth, we're all in a boat. It's not even all about humans, it's also about Earth, about nature. So as long as you let go and you participate, you're strong, and you put yourself into service of this, this energy, then I'm very confident we're gonna be fine. So yes, I mean, in a way, right now it seems so eventful because one thing I wanted to say that I had a slight difference of opinion. It's perfectly fine. We don't agree on everything. We are very aligned. You, Pat, Joel, me, Tony. But I think we all have a little angle of the things. I do think right now they're a little bit desperate. Okay, they probably have been desperate throughout history, but we don't know. It is very difficult to go through mainstream history and just maybe do an analysis when they were doing simultaneous wars or something like that. But I think right now they are very, very desperate because I think this is what they fear most. This video we're doing, these two people speaking like that, this is what they fear the most. Okay, for two people that don't need the system at all. For them it's so scary because that's the end. When everyone just stands up and says goodbye, it's done. We have to start over with a new world. So I think that might seem, you have all the answers. No, we don't have all the answers. Well, the only thing we have is just let go yourself. Let go yourself of the fear. Let go yourself of the hate. Just embrace the love, because honestly, for me, the only possible energy and emotion that comes out of your heart, just think about it for a second through your mind, is love. Fear doesn't get there. Fear just makes you miserable, as you said yesterday, by the way.
Fear does so many things. It does so many things to the immune system. It does so many things to psychologically. It does so many things to the people around us. It makes us unavailable for the people around us. It's just fear is such a strong motivator, and I can see what you're saying where it does. I will admit that we are kind of at a weird transition period here. I feel like their last narrative, their 20, I don't even like to say it anymore, the narrative they were running from 2020 to 2022 it is running out of juice, and it's just, and I hope maybe we are going through something here, and I'll never lose hope on that. I'll never lose hope on, as your show states, humanity winning. But but you're exactly right. I a lot of me doesn't even think it's about that. It's not. We've spent so much time, especially in the last 200-300 years, exposing these people and what they're doing and exposing their system. And what if it's not even about that? What if it's not about exposing them and then figuring out how are we going to win? How are we going to beat this whole system? And so many people are still trapped that claim to be awake. They claim to be awake, but yet they're stuck in their division. They're stuck just on them and blaming them. And the biggest thing that we do is the only people that listen to any of the alternative media are people already listening to the alternative media. So I think the question always has to be is how do we get more people to understand this? How do we? And I don't think it's possible until one is ready. Until a person is 100% ready. It's like anything. It's like anything else, whether it be work or addiction or overeating or depression or any number of things. Until a person is ready to take action, there's nothing we're going to be able to do. But you said it. Like, I understand the system, and it's my decision whether or not I'm going to engage in, and I'm not going to engage in that system to a certain degree.
Of course, it's impossible if you want to physically exist right now that you don't engage in their system, because their system requires money. Money doesn't fall out of the sky, last time I checked. And unless you have a lot of money already made, then probably you can send me out. You can go to an island, buy an island, maybe in some way. Or people that go out in the mountain in a cabin, some way they are 90-something% out of the system. Still the system, if they want to create trouble for you, they go and look for you. Like it happened, you shared a story like 6 months ago of this very known story of someone that took their family and they just wanted to be left alone. But the system went and they couldn't have that, so they had to take them out.
And that's how much control, and that's how much that they understand that is that in the Ruby Ridge,
yes,
1991, I think it was.
Yes, that's the one.
You cannot Ruby, and
the one you shared like 6 months ago, yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, yeah. But because there it is again, right? There's a bunch of people that understood the evils of the whole system. And just really all they wanted to do was be left alone.
Exactly.
They didn't want to fight. They didn't want to cause them. They didn't even want to expose them. They just wanted to be left alone. And they fear that. They fear that because what if all of a sudden, Joel, Alex, and Pat, we're all talking, and then all of a sudden, where's Joel been? And Joel shows back up and says, all right, sorry guys, but I decided to leave the internet and technology for the most part, and I decided to just buy some land and be left alone and do things my way, right? And Alex and Pat say, oh wow, that's a good idea. That sounds really good. And you come out and you check it out, and it looks really good. And like all of a sudden, Alex is going, holy shit! He's going to his wife. He's going, look at these guys. They're up there. They're all set. Nobody bugs them. And then all of a sudden, there's that opportunity of growing. And that's why I always say we're never going to shove this stuff down people's throats. We have to show it has to be attraction. It has to be, people have to, and this has happened to me over the last 2 years. Okay, where people are like, Joel, you don't seem affected by all that much. All this stuff that's going on. I go, because I'm not affected. I don't let it affect me. But we've spent so much time, what I already mentioned is the in arguing. No, it's these guys. No, it's these guys. No, it's Fauci. No, it's Wuhan. No, it's blah, blah, blah. We're all in this rat race, and instead of just, keeping it simple, right? Letting all that shit go, like you said, and just understanding, having a very firm, basic understanding that we have a serious problem here, and these people in control do not have our best interests in mind. So why don't we just put our differences aside, put them completely aside, and worry about our fundamental, basic needs and work as a community together, okay? Because again, that's what they fear. They cannot have that. They need us arguing.
Yes, and when I say let go, it's a lot of things. It's embracing, loving your heart. It's trying not to feel fear, try not to hate anyone. Anyone, when I'm talking anyone. Fauci, not hate. Don't think about it, tune them out. And one very important thing of that is you mentioned the blame game, if you want to call it like that, but also the victim game, okay? And they love us to become victims, okay? And I'm going to put a very simple example. This is not against Christians, but it's a very easy example. Oh, it's all about the Jews, okay? That's the blame game. Oh, it's a war on Christians, okay? That's the victim game, okay? Okay, you victimize yourself. Oh, they're against Christian. I'm Christian, of course, and it's all they're trying to destroy us. And the Jews is a different story. It's all about the Muslims. That's the blame game. And it's all, about hating Jews. That's the victim game. So once you stop becoming a victim, and you realize there are no victims here, you just victimize yourself. And you stop putting the blame on others and take a little responsibility of your life and where you're going, because it's up to you, believe me. Then things change. And that's that is part of the thing that I call letting go, okay? Let go of the hate. Stop hating anyone, okay? And I could do very awful examples of that. For example, with the color of the skin, with the gender, there are women that truly hate men. There are men that hate women. And if we went to whatever they call other genders, it's going to be a mess, but that's that. So if we truly let go, first of all, we understand we're all on this. We're on the same ship, okay? And we all come from the same place. We have to. I mean, there's no explanation. I don't want to go into outer space or anything like that, but we come from the same place. We're truly brothers and sisters. So we just let go and embrace. And if you see, for example, someone on the street, your neighbor, and you say good morning, and he says, go F yourself, whatever. Try next morning. Try for 2-3 mornings, okay? And if he doesn't get it, stop doing it. And I wrote this morning some comment replies to the show yesterday I had with you guys, and I unmuted a couple of people that I had muted before. And what I share with them is I don't mute you because I don't like you, or I don't mute you because I hate you. I don't hate anyone, okay? We're just different. We're in different positions. I'm not better than you. You're possibly not better than me. You're possibly a great person. But we're just in different positions, okay? So I don't resonate with you. So you were mentioning something very important, Joel. I don't think we wake anyone by force. What I'm trying to get is we're all like in a line, okay? There are no bonus points to be ahead of the line or in back of the, okay? But what happens, I think, is it's very normal and expectable to mute someone out, to tune someone out, to press the mute button, the block button, or whatever on an internet platform, when someone is back in the line, and that is taking you to things you have already traversed, things you have already figured out in a way. So it's okay, I don't want to listen to that message. And one example is stop watching TV, stop watching mainstream media. If I watch CNN, I'm going to puke, okay? Really, if you put the television on me and CNN for 8 hours, I'm gonna feel sick. I cannot watch even the commercials anymore. I haven't watched CNN for a couple of years. And the last time was, I'm very interested in US politics as entertainment, actually. For me, it's very interesting, the US politics system, especially the presidential election and the electors, all that is very interesting to me, okay? So I watch it, and the only channel I can watch it is CNN because I don't get ABC, CBS, or anything down here. But that was the last time. Haven't tuned on the channel
notice how they got CNN down there, though. No,
yeah, we do. We get international.
That must be coincidence, right?
Yeah, CNN is kind of worldwide, okay? So there's a CNN International, CNNI, and but that one, when there's a presidential election, is the CNN US stream, okay, or presentation. So we get the same guys, Anderson Cooper or whatever, you know. So for me, it's entertainment. And when the election is coming this year, I'll probably tune again as entertainment. There are no bonus points. I'm not going to get ahead of the line watching them. But every time I watch you guys, I get something positive. So I move a little bit. But if these people are muted, my message was, your message is great. It's just not for me, okay? That's why I mute you. And it's perfectly fine. And same thing for you guys. You mentioned something, you stopped gaining as many subscribers, you stopped gaining as many views, but you changed your tune. And you're perfectly fine with that because you're giving a different message. Not that I didn't like the previous message, okay? It was positive for me as well, but this one is much better for me, okay? And if someone, you mentioned yesterday that Sixth Sense channel stopped mirroring your content as soon as you did that, so it was not for the Sixth Sense channel. So what I'm trying to say is this awakening process, air quotes, because awakening is just a word, really, doesn't mean anything. This process we're all going through. Align yourself with people that you feel they give you a positive vibe. And neutral, which is zero, is also fine, which is entertaining. For example, for me, Alex Jones, most of the times he doesn't bother me. He doesn't bring anything positive, but he's entertaining. So that's why I still watch a little Alex Jones trying to find content for my show. Stu Peters is starting to go on the negative, okay, because he's very into the blame game, China, the left, and for me, those things are so in the past. I mean, if it's just being in a country and you still are blaming left and right, really, the division, just think about it in your brain. It's a full world, okay? Even if it's flat or whatever, it's a full world. And you're concentrating in a country and you're concentrating in a subdivision of that country. I mean, come on. Come on. I mean, that for me is just.
And the question I always ask is like, is your own house in order? You know, is your physical house in order? But no, you're exactly right. And that's one thing I found very interesting with starting the Waking the Future. And as you know, we've talked to people all over the world. You know, you're down in Mexico, we've talked to people, a ton of people in Australia, we've talked to somebody in New Zealand, Africa, Belgium, all over Europe.
All over the world.
Literally all over the world. And I find it amazing. Because if you had ever asked me, like, who's the president of this country or that country, or I have no idea. I don't even know when they elect their presidents, whether it's every 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, whether it's a king or queen, but you know. But the amount of people that were interested in American politics, and yeah, we've never utilized a mute button. We've never censored anybody from talking, and it's always it's just amazing. It's just for years now. Certain people we've just and all they just come onto our platform and they just talk about how much they hate us, and I honestly have compassion. It's like so stuck in the whatever it is, just the negativity. Just keep it real simple. Just blame. No, you're wrong. Why would you want to? I wouldn't want to live like that. If I turn on Alex's show, and like by the third one, I'm like, I ain't vibing with this dude. This ain't my cup of tea, man.
Stop watching. Stop watching because it's not about negative.
I'm just going to stop watching.
Exactly.
It's not doing anything for me. And like, what happened to like building people up, right? What happened to inspiring people? And what happened to like utilizing a brain? Do you know what your chances are of being born a human being with the brain that we've been blessed with? Like, it's like 1 in trillions or something crazy. I didn't do the math, obviously, but we don't utilize this tool, and it's like we were talking about earlier. It's like and just like the selfishness and this whole victim game, right? Another one, like, nothing happens to me, everything happens for me, and it's up for me and my inner self to find out what the lesson is in every situation. And we talk about negative and positive thinking, right, Alex? Very important to go over personal experience, right? So I'm gonna go over after I got done recording with you. My wife needed a car, so she was gonna drive me over to my little second part-time job. We got outside, she's got a flat tire. It's completely flat. Now, some people walking this earth, that would have been the end of their day already. But I'm like, all right, whatever, you know.
The end of the world. I know.
It's the end of the world. So I go, all right, well, we'll change the tire. And so I call my boss. I'll be about 20 minutes late. And I go to change the tire, and I get out the jack and the donut that came with the car. And I'm going to get the last lug nut off, and the cheap piece of crap wrench that they gave me, I bend the stupid thing in half. So now I can't even change the tire. And I'm starting to get kind of upset at this point. Nothing is going my way. I got a little bit upset, but then I just started laughing. And I'm like, all right, well, and I ended up finding a ride to work, and I just ended up laughing, like I said. It's funny at this point. And then this morning I wake up and I go to do the dishes, and the hot water heater went. So now I got no hot water in my house either. And most people would take that as a really bad weekend, right? It's look at all this, the victim, look at all the bad stuff happening to me. They're all out to get me, and I take that and I put a spin on it of like how grateful I am to. I have a car, period, that I'm able to get my transportation needs met. Okay, something happened this weekend. Okay, and then the hot water heater, like, I don't need hot water to survive. I like it. I like it a lot. I enjoy a hot shower after work. I enjoy to do my dishes and whatnot. But like, I'm warm, I'm fed, and all my needs are met. So that's just, I thought, a good, clear example of how our mindset and how positivity can change our outlook and our reality on things.
Yes, you had everything was going for you to go on the negative, of course, and to start maybe with the blame game, you know. And sometimes it happens. The other day I don't know what I was doing. I was thinking about something, so I was going on a equivalent to a 30-mile street. I was probably doing 20, okay. And someone passes me like honking the horn and that, very upset, and like and I was like, yes, I'm sorry, I was doing 20, whatever, but it was just for a minute or something. But you choose how to react to those things. And I was reading something that really resonated with me the past few days, that those type of events are neutral in nature, okay? Neutral. They don't have an
Yeah.
energy, but you choose the connotation, okay? Either it could have a positive spin. For example, I think you gave it a positive spin by saying, I'm lucky to have a car. It has a flat tire. I broke the thing to change it, but I'm lucky to have a car. And for example, if food is not to your liking, well, you have food to eat. There are many people that don't have food to eat, okay? And things like that could be a positive thing of really living the moment and being appreciative of everything we have, because we are all very lucky. We're all very lucky. I mean, there's no distinction. All the people that have come to your show, you and Pat, me, Tony UK, Tony Mexico, we're all very lucky, okay?
Oh, we've had.
There is a lot of people right now going through a rough time because the system can crush you, especially with money. And something I'm also kind of figuring out as of late, these past 2 years or something like that, is, for example, how we judge homeless people, okay? And basically, most people, I think, unfortunately, give the connotation that homeless people are just lazy. They just don't want to work. And sometimes we have to know the story of the homeless person to understand, what went on. They can have mental problems. They can have all sorts of things. They could be just don't want to participate in this reality anymore. Doesn't mean they're lazy. They're ready to work. It's a different thing. But we tend, again, with the blame game, with the victim game. And if I've seen people that are, very kind, and they'll share whatever little they have with you, it's homeless people, okay?
Well,
The
I
people
think
that have the less is the ones that are willing to share the most with you, okay? No, sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
no, that's okay. And I think I don't even think we need to know their story. I think we just need to know that they're human beings and they might be hungry and they might be cold, and that's all we need to know. It's that we got somebody that's hungry and and as you know, and as you mentioned, we don't know their story, but here's I work with the homeless, and what I have found is the people with the least are the most generous. How many times I've been down at South Station in Boston in the homeless shelter, kick them out about 6 in the morning, and they're out there, and I say, come on, come on, bud, we're gonna go in and we're gonna get you a cup of coffee, and how many times I say, get yourself, whatever you need, get a large coffee and something to eat. And I would say at least 75% of the time they'll get a large coffee and a couple of extra cups so that they can give some of their buddies some hot coffee as well. Okay, so and now you're going to tell me that this guy that steps over these homeless people with his fancy Italian shoes and his tie, because he's going over to the Federal Reserve Building, which is right across the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tell me that this dude's better than the homeless guy, or that this guy knows more? No.
No.
The guy who got the large hot coffee, who's homeless, who cares? They're a human being, okay? That person knows more. That person is more in tune with reality than the businessman in the penthouse. And how many times have I talked about my work with the homeless, and I get these comments as, Joel, you turn your back and everybody just calls you a sucker and people are just doing that. And it's like, if you're saying that, you have no concept of the truth. If you have a concept of any sort of concept of the truth, I don't care what people are saying behind my back, because whenever somebody's talking negative towards me, I know instantly that's a reflection of them, not me. That has nothing to do with me. And I know that when I decide to stop putting somebody down, that it's a reflection of some of my inner hate or my inner uncomfortability that I have to work through. It doesn't have to do with the other person, right? It's like the broken shoelace syndrome, the shoelace breaks, and all of a sudden I'm flipping out. It wasn't the shoelace; it was all the other stuff that I haven't been able to dive into and dissect and work through. And you're 100%. It's life is not what happens to me. Life is my reaction to what happens. And when I understand that stuff happens, I don't have any control, right? Like the best fighter doesn't get angry, right? That all of a sudden you start to not react to stuff, and you start to understand what things like that mean. And like, imagine if the whole, we said this the other day, imagine if the whole world was just nice to each other. Just nice.
Beautiful
Like,
concept.
how hard is that?
I think if that will happen, Joel, but truly if all the world will be nice to each other and will be nice to nature and all that, all of our problems, the system will be gone because we wouldn't serve them anymore. We're not in the state that they need us.
Yeah.
And we'll start a new reality. I wanted to say a couple of things about that, and I'm going to share a story that I haven't shared even privately, but it's not about me, and it's not about ego. So we're on a family trip that last week we went in Texas, and we went into a pizza place we like very much, and the pizzas were, let's just say, they were not up to par. Okay, the manager came to us and said, "I'm sorry, I'm breaking in some new cooks, so they're messing up with the pizzas. They were a little bit burned. And you know what? I'm gonna give you 2 extra pizzas, the same that you ordered, for later on today or something." And I say, and I have a problem with that. I want to explain, Joe. I have a problem with wasting food. It's really, for me, it's something unacceptable.
I hate it too.
I hate it. So I say, please no. If you want something, give me a free beer or something. I'll drink it, and that's it. But please no, because if we're here first of all in vacation. We don't have our house that we can put it in the fridge. In the hotel, we don't have a fridge. It's a problem. So she said, no, it's done. They're coming. So I said, please give it to some people that may need it. I said, well, there are no homeless people close to here, so you might have to look into that. At the end, we had to take the pizzas away. And we arrived in the hotel. We were in the center in San Antonio, Texas. It was very close to the bus station. So I came here and I told the people in the hotel, where can I give? I said, I don't know. And if you go in the street offering a free pizza, you're going to be seen very strange. Maybe they're poison or whatever. So watch out, okay? So go about the street and see if you find someone. So I ended up going to the bus station, okay? And you don't know how appreciative they were. And it was really a moment. And this is not about the ego, because that didn't cost me a dime, okay? Because it was free. But even if I had paid for it, you say, just if when you say something that resonates with me perfectly, when you say something around, I'm paraphrasing here, something, I have $5, so maybe I can, part with a couple of bucks to give someone a coffee or something. And the story you shared about the couple that they offer something like, okay, the tab is on us or something for some others, something like that. Those are beautiful acts, and they are beautiful. I share this story, but it's not about sharing it on Instagram and the ego and I'm so great. No, I'm the same person, okay? But when you can do those acts for someone else, really, it's this energy travels around, and it's love, basically. When you are,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there are people that are hearing this, or people out there in the world that you have a lot of money, and I know people with I know a couple of people that have a lot of money. I understand you are attached to it because maybe it costs you a lot to generate a career or whatever, a business, or you can part with a little of that money and create energy with it. And that beautiful energy, and give it to someone that really needs it, that's beautiful, okay? That's a beautiful use of money, actually. So I wanted just to interject the story with what you were saying, because I remember I came back to the hotel, and I had a moment, okay? I had a moment I was like, that was amazing, okay? And so you were able to give the pizza away? Yes, I was. And I'm happy they gave it to us because it creates such a good energy. They were kind of not expecting it, okay? And I never felt threatened or my safety or something like that. And first of all, when you let go, you also let go of that fear, okay? Of everybody's out to get you. Like you walk on the street and everyone's out to get you, like you were so important. Okay, so of course things will happen. You need to stay safe, okay? But also we're always very paranoid into, everyone is out to get me and everyone wants this. And if everyone's offering something for free, there has to be a catch and there's a bad connotation. So I just wanted to share that story.
No, and it's a great story, and that's a demonstration of the truth. It's a demonstration of what we need more of, right? Thinking about the next guy, helping another person, because not just love myself, make sure I take care of myself first. I got to do what I got to do for me. I got to do what I can do for me, and then I can worry about everybody else. No, you have it backwards, because whatever your spiritual leaning is, right? Whether it's God, whether in a power of human, whatever you call it, Allah, whatever it is, okay, when you go out and help your brother, whatever the force you believe in comes back in abundance. I've witnessed it too many times, right? And I've talked about it on the show when I lost my job. For moral reasons, I quit my job. and people ask, well, what are you going to do? I go, I don't know. I don't know. But I know that the money that I was making there was not sitting right with me. So I know that that wasn't what I had to do. I knew I had to do that job with 100% on faith, Alex. 100%. No idea how in 2 or 3 months down the road the rent was going to get paid. No idea how other things were going to get paid. But I knew I could not continue working for this person. And so what do? I do what I always do. I didn't change anything except I didn't go to work. So I slept a little bit later. Pat was yelling at me because I was late for some episodes. And I went out and did what I did. And living on faith provided once again. And here I am. And it's just the way it is, man.
And I think it's a great example, Joe, of your situation. You had to go through your job of letting go.
Yeah.
Just trusting, because
No,
let go
what
has to
you
go
do-
with trust. Okay, so if you let go, you're just in a flow. Like you're like in a boat that is going, and you don't even know the destination. You don't even know whatever. You're just trusting the process.
Exactly.
And
I'm just going to plug in my phone. I got to plug in my computer really quick, Alex.
No problem.
I'm
No problem.
about to die in a minute. All right, I can still hear you, but I just want to let you know I wasn't. All right, here we go.
Yes. Is there anything else, Joel, you might want to touch on or say something in closing? We have gone for 58 minutes, so it's a pretty good show.
Yeah, it's about time for me to start getting ready for the week ahead. But no, in closing is I just want to say thank you first off, Alex. Thank you
Oh, thank you.
for having me on. Again, it's always an honor when somebody wants my take on things, and it's always great to be able to talk to somebody who probably has different views on certain things, but we don't even have to debate. We can just let each other be, right? We can just let our ego go and let Alex be Alex, and Alex can let Joel be Joel, and have a great conversation. And I just want to thank everybody out there for listening to either Alex's or my show or both of our shows, and because that's what this is all about. And yeah, thank you, Alex.
No, thank you, Joel. And I'm going to say something I said in a comment today. I wanted to say it yesterday on our chat, and at the end I was caught in the moment and I just couldn't say it. We're talking something else, and sorry that you guys had to finish the show, so I couldn't say it. I mean, I've been in this process, I think, all my life. You know, as a child, I share it. I knew something was off. Okay, so if for me it's been a process, I've been into things like the universe, outer space, astronomy, and all that connotations. And I'm trying to refrain from going into that if not necessary, because it kind of, it's probably some of the differences we have, and I have to understand just to bring it up when I have to bring it up. But what I wanted to say publicly yesterday, and I shared in a comment today there on Waking the Future, was when you guys invited me for Keeping It Real, and then we had another follow-up show and all that. For me, it was a special moment, Joel, because I knew, I've been part of a podcast, audio only, for a few years now, related to sports, and I've been working as a moderator on public forums for a few years, 10, 15 years now. So I had this previous experience, but it was nothing compared to coming on your show and really just telling, whatever story or talking about any subject. And I felt it was something for me to share, but not from the perspective of trying to change someone, but from the perspective, as you say, as I was telling, that is kind of coming to me, that we're these little bubbles out there, these pieces of energy, and sometimes there's a little pull only you can get. And that's what I'm trying. That's why I say, if you like my show, if it resonates with you, that's super, okay? Keep going, keep watching. If it's entertaining, it's like Alex Jones to me. It's entertaining, okay? There's nothing wrong. I don't take Alex necessarily the wrong way, or I don't extremely concern who he is. So I just sometimes find it still entertaining, okay? But if it bothers you, that's negative energy, okay? That's negative energy, and yes, we're all capable to give out a negative notion, and just stop watching. And if you're subscribed, unsubscribe, and don't watch me again, because the important thing is, that we try just to beam this out like it was a radio station. We're not forcing anyone to listen or watch. and if it reaches someone and it resonates, I think that moves them in the direction they're open at this moment. We're all just in different moments. Okay, I know it's very strange, and possibly I'm very confused in saying that. It's not like we're in different timelines. Okay, we're in the same timeline, but we're all in different moments. And some say it, you're semi-awake. I disagree with that word, because some people say they're awake because they didn't get vaccinated.
I'm so sick of the terminology.
Okay.
I'm so sick of the terminology.
You could be vaccinated and you could be more awake than someone that says that. Okay, so what I want to say is it's an honor to have you here, Joel. It's an honor to come on Wake in the Future, and for me, I feel like I'm a student of what you're creating, because what you're creating is a platform, a movement, a family. It's amazing that maybe, I don't know if you want to put a number, but 150 really core members of Wake in the Future, 25, whatever it is, doesn't matter. The good thing is this is happening, this is growing organically. There's no money, no one pushing money-wise.
It costs us money.
Actually, yes, I'm sure it does. Because, I mean, I'm running on zero budget, but it's very difficult. And it's not really zero, because the electricity costs, the internet costs, my time costs. So really, thank you, and please keep going. When I know there are difficult moments that you think, it happens to me when I have episodes that go with a lot of negative comments and say, should I keep bothering? Yes, you should keep bothering, because this is very important. Just beam this information out. And especially I want to say, first of all, I'm going to, of course, include the link on the show notes to Wake in the Future. But and if you haven't subscribed, please go and check them out, and you decide if it's your cup of tea. But what you're doing with bringing people from all over the world, and I have a suggestion, I'm trying to do that as well. I know we're all equal, beautiful, but maybe try to get someone from Africa, okay? To give a perspective.
Yeah, we had one from,
okay.
Yeah, way back on keeping it real.
I remember you had Ecuador. I'm talking about like semi-exotic places. Ecuador, of course, Australia. You have had many from Australia.
We've had Australia, but we did have one in Africa. I'll go through tonight, and I'll send you.
Thank you. I would like to watch that. But
he was actually a very interesting
because
chat.
Just a short thing on Africa. Some people say, "Are you from Africa?" Yes, I am. My mother's family is from Sicily, and Sicily was invaded by Africans a few hundred years ago. So yes, I have African blood, but also I think it's a place when someone says, "Help me, God," talking a little bit about the ego. Help me. Okay. How about he helps children in Africa? Okay, because they're really at the front of the line of the help. So that's what I'm trying to share. That when someone is so excited about, adamant about this carnage that is going on, just read a little history and you will find that carnage has been with humanity throughout history, okay? So it's not different, unfortunately. It's a pity, it's sad, but it's not something like they say is the most eventful time because of that. No, it's the most eventful time because of the good part of this change, of you are changing, we are all changing, okay? There's so much love in the world right now. It's not apparent, okay? But really, a lot of people are changing and understanding and finding the road, okay? Finding the road, saying, I don't like that anymore. I don't like this reality anymore, okay? So because we can change, yes, we can change our reality. It's just very difficult to do it individually, It's not like it's not a video game. But when we all, like in a consciousness, change and say, we don't want this anymore, something new is gonna come. Something more beautiful, and it's going to be controlled by us, as it's always supposed to be. This is a hijacked thing. This is someone that has hijacked planet Earth. If you want to think it's humans, it's perfectly fine. I'm not going to go into that as well. But whatever you want to think, we can all agree there's a system out there, and it's not interested in our good. It's actually interested in suppressing it. So, Joel, thank you very much. And please, I want to kind of commit you here that this is not the last time we're going to have this. Absolutely. Because this is great. And you know what? I don't know if you have some other experiences as you independently being on another channel, because I recall you and Pat together, okay, on many other channels. You have been with Shane and, with different other channels. But it's also nice to see Pat and you separately, because it's a different thing, okay? It's a different thing.
There's actually a few people, I think Wonga's mentioned it, and I think I think I understand that, and it makes sense. And there have been some people that have reached out to me in the past. Timing can always be tough, as you know. We're very busy, but you're going to start seeing Pat and I separately, talking to different people. Of course, Pat and I are two different people. We run a show together, and we greatly differ on a whole array of things, and you're going to start seeing us separately, which I think will be a great addition to everything that we're doing. So
Yes.
Thank you again, Alex.
No,
It's
no,
been
no.
great.
Thank you, Joel, and thank you everyone for watching. And this show is actually coming on Wednesday because tomorrow, Monday, I'm republishing the one I had with you guys. So this coming on Wednesday, I think September 28th. Okay,
Great.
so because you're watching it this day, if everything is okay, I should be back on Friday the 30th. Okay, and I have I know you have seen it, Joel, but I have a prepared video that I share. I call it the last 3 minutes of the show, where it's basically I share this message that I suggest to you that you go into yourself and try to discover your story. Okay. Thank
Great.
you. Please stay for the last 3 minutes of the show.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. We want you on the show. Send me an email to hey@humanitywins.net to schedule an interview. Help me out by making the show more interesting, fun, and knowledgeable by having you on and giving our viewers the opportunity to learn from you. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover yourself. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and guidance. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover yourself? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to yourself and the universe. Request to be connected and ask, who am I? Where do I come from? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about those realities start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering yourself equals to breaking your matrix. Your self-imposed limits will fall, and you will be ready to serve humanity and help break this spell and deception on us. But you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will start a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, loss, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only the evildoers and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Please relax and enjoy life. When everyone breaks their own matrix, humanity through our community consciousness will break the final spell. The new world will start and everything will gradually fall. Governments, hierarchies, and the medical and financial system will go from scarcity to abundance for all. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this episode. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@humanitywins.net. Please be sure to check out our friends from Waking the Future and their awaken-attire.com shop. They gave me my first opportunity to speak about this and I will be forever grateful. Link to their channel and shop on the show notes. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.humanitywins.net. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.